Welcome to the Down to Mars pod with me, Maria. This is the promo pod edition, and today I have my best friend, Fiona. Welcome to
Hi,
the pod.
everybody. Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, I'm excited that you decided to join me today.
Of course.
We're going to be talking all things promo industry. So with that, I wanted to ask you, what do you like to be called? Because I feel like everyone likes to be called something different, like promo model, promo girl, brand ambassador, brand
shot
rep,
girl.
shot girl. Don't call me that.
Not that one.
But yeah, like typically I don't have a preference. Actually, not even typically. I just don't have a preference at all. Like I'm never offended by anything anyone wants to call me.
Neither am I call myself a promo model though.
Okay.
Especially, I think we can talk about this later a little bit, but I think that we started off and it was called promo modeling.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turned into brand ambassador. And now I think that's what they call it.
I think so. I think I see that a lot more now.
Yeah. But I just call myself a promo model.
Yeah. You don't have a preference. You're not offended by anything.
No.
Okay, good.
I don't know
I'm
why
not
people
either.
are.
If anyone has a preference out there, let us know. Like, I'll refer to it as that. But I feel like for now, I'm just going to say, like, promo girl, promo model,
Promo girl or
Promo
promo
girl.
model.
the promo girls. But yeah, so one thing I didn't know, I don't think you ever told me, how did you get started in this promo world?
Oh, yes. So I'm 27 now, but I started when I was 21. I was a hostess at a restaurant, and once I turned 21, I said, see ya. And my uncle actually works for a distributor.
A distributor? A distribution company?
That's what I was trying to say. A distribution company, Fedway.
Oh, no way. Wait, I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
what the hell? That's lit.
Yes.
I wish I knew that when I was like trying to like connect with Fedway for like a sales position. Does he still or not anymore?
He does.
Oh, okay.
I think in the south region though, because they have a southern and then a northern region in Jersey. But so yeah, my older cousin used to do it years and years ago, so they connected me with one of the promotional modeling companies, and that's how I started.
Nice. Do you remember who?
The company?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. So it's no longer a company, but Select.
Okay. I also
Classic.
started with Select, but actually they weren't even Select when I started. It was Evolve.
No.
It was Evolve.
It was Selected, now it's Evolve.
No, I know. When I started, it was Evolve.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if you know how I got my start.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I remember I was like at work one day or something, and Ariel like hit me up, and it was funny because I had a best friend that like would do these fun jobs, and I was like, what is she doing? I didn't really understand it, and I didn't really ask any questions, but I knew that she was doing a cool, fun job. And one day she hit me and was like, oh, my company like really needs someone to work this gig. It's $30 an hour. And at that time I was working, I think at a preschool, making probably minimum wage. So to hear $30 an hour, I was like,
Just terrible.
sign me up. Even though I knew it was so out of my comfort zone. Like she wanted me to go there by myself. So it was for a liquor store in Bayville, which was by my house at the time. And it was by myself. I can't even remember what I was promoting. It was like I had to wear like a blue tank top and white shorts. It was some wine, I think. I want to say it was some sort of wine or whatever. I was so nervous. I was like, no way. But I was like, this is such good money. And this is also like a good thing to get me out of my comfort zone. Like I would never feel comfortable doing something like that or think that I could do something like that. But I kind of wanted to prove to myself too, like, you can do whatever. Just try it and see.
Absolutely.
And I ended up really liking it. I made my mom come to my first one because I was like, oh my god, if no one shows up, because they're telling me like I had to get pictures and all this stuff, and I had to ask people like, hey, do you want to have a sample? And I'm just like what? I have to ask someone like if they want a sample.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so nervous like with my setup and everything. I just like was trying to make sure everything was perfect. They had me print something out. I was making sure everything was perfect. It's just funny now because of the shit I do to get ready for a promo now. Back to my first promo, I was like
absolutely different.
a nervous wreck. Yeah,
totally different. And I think it's also such a foreign thing before you're really deep into it.
Oh,
it
yeah.
Sounds so odd. People don't know how to get into the business.
Exactly.
It's scary when you first start because you are being just thrown into it.
Yeah.
And it's not like you get trained. You definitely do not get trained.
No, I didn't have any training. I had maybe like a phone call just saying like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to set up your table. Just ask them if they want to have a sample and take this many pictures. I can't even remember at this point, like how many pictures we were supposed to take or anything like that.
Yeah. So we should kind of explain a little bit like what it's like to get hired for the gig and then what you really exactly do.
Yeah, go ahead. That 100%.
So when I first started also, I would do liquor store promotions.
I was going to ask you, what was your first event? Because mine, obviously, like I said, liquor store. And that's kind of just throwing it in there by yourself. Like, I've had friends that I've connected to promos that their first gig was with me, like, on premise. And that's almost just, like,
way
a breeze.
Easier.
Yes.
Yeah. So mine was also, so there's on-premise and off-premise.
Exactly, yes.
So,
yeah, explain that because you guys will be hearing us say that a lot. Right. And if you're not a promo model or haven't been a promo model, you might not know. Even if you're someone that like is a store manager that hires out promo models, you might not even know about the lingo.
So I started with an off-premise, which is you're doing it at a liquor store. So you're doing a 2-hour event typically, and your company will contract you out. So you ask them for a table.
Who? People at the liquor store?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I never done that. I always just like either went assuming they have a table. Yeah, actually, yeah. They normally had one like always set up for me. But that's what I was going to ask you about, like your setup, because I'm a setup snob. Like I like my setup to look really cute and aesthetic. I know some girls just go in there and they just like throw their shit on the table and they're good for the day, but what are you?
Me.
That's you? No, really?
Yeah, so I don't particularly care how my setup looks. I always make sure that I have a clean tablecloth.
Yeah. I feel like yours always looks cute though, so.
Yeah, like I just anytime don't I go to visit above
you.
And beyond.
Yeah.
But I like the liquor bottles to be organized and
uniformed.
Everything to look clean. I wouldn't ever keep trash on the table, but other than that, I'm not going to bring decorations, and some girls do.
I don't think I'm like a bring decorations girl. I mean, if you provide me with whatever you provide me with, I'm going to make it look bomb, but I don't think I'm going to bring anything extra.
Yeah, it just, I think also in the beginning, maybe I cared a little bit more. And then as the years went on.
Well, 1000%. I feel like that's a big thing in the industry. Like how long you've been doing this shit.
Yes.
That's why in the beginning, I low-key like would lie to people sometimes. If people like, you could tell that if they were sizing you up and being like, so how long have you been doing this? Like, you know, if you've gotten that question, have you gotten that?
Yes,
because I get that all the time, obviously, and now I'm the one sometimes asking it. Like, so how long have you been at this, girl?
I had a girl come at me and said that she's been doing it for 5 months, and that
I remember. Yeah,
I said, well, I've been doing it for 6 years, but
she shouldn't have said that with so much
conviction.
Matter of fact, she knew what the fuck she meant or was talking about. Yeah, but how did we meet? That is one thing I actually don't remember.
Did we meet from the Bar A promotions?
Trend
or Top Flight?
I was literally even thinking about Trend. I was going to ask you if you ever I thought you did do trend too, but I wasn't 100%. And I was like, I feel like she did do trend though.
Yes. So Trend is one of the companies that are no longer a company anymore. I think after the pandemic.
Haven't heard of them in a minute, but I was seriously, what was her name? I can't even think of it now. Karen. Okay. I thought it was Karen. I was like her go-to gal for so long. Me and like this one girl, Tina. Yeah, we were like the go-to gals for a while. And I was working at Bar A for Trend every single night.
So that was Bar A's specific promo modeling agency. But I think that we might have met during an Evolve promotion when it was Chandler,
so
Lauren.
Now I think Evolve. Was it the Jim Beam? Jim Beam was having a launch party at Asbury for their Jim Beam Peach, and that was the first time we met. That makes sense. So. I think it, but we knew of each other because of Fiona. I'm dead.
That's me.
That's me because of Lauren and Chandler.
Right.
Because I knew that they would like work with you and stuff, and I knew both of them because I had worked with them, and yeah, I think that was the first time then.
Yeah.
Okay, I was curious about that because I was like, how did me and like I know we met through promos, which that's one thing I love about promos is I have met some amazing girls, and I've made some amazing friendships. The two best friends in my life are I made through promos. Your hands are cold. My hands are always cold.
Sorry.
Mine usually are.
You know what? I had somebody in my life before I came here telling me about how at their workplace they have mean girls. And I was thinking, I have not experienced mean girls in so long. And with our job as promo models, nobody has been mean. I feel like every girl is so kind. I mean, except for the girl that...
Okay, Fiona. Okay, positive Penny over here because, I mean, I've definitely had my experiences.
Okay,
I want to say, though, yes, as... When you do the ratio of the amount of work and promos I've done compared...
For
and
years.
the people I've worked with compared to the ones that are shit... Yeah, for years and years and years. Yeah. I would say it completely outweighs the bad.
I think that
1000%.
Most promo models that I've met, even if we're not going to be best friends, they're still kind. We work together well.
No, I would say 100%. I've probably only met like two I can think of off the top of my head where I'm just like, bruh, you are... We don't vibe.
I have a few stories of that as well, but that's, you know.
I know. Let us know if you guys want a part 2 because we'll spill some stories because we have a ton. We have definitely a. Oh yeah, so you've pretty much stuck with like the liquor world, right? But you've dabbled a little bit. I've dabbled so much. Like when I did my first promo, I was like, okay, like I'm in this. You can make good money. Like, you know what? Why not do it? So I was getting under every single company that I could find. So I was just doing every promo imaginable, and I didn't realize that it ranged like outside of liquor until I found like other ones that wanted me for random things. So
what kind of things?
So I did I worked PFL, which was like Professional Fighter League. That was really fun. I did that a few times, and that was like a step and repeat, which I was just like, I couldn't believe I was getting paid for, and I couldn't believe people wanted a picture with me. Like I was a no one, and they just wanted pictures with like two like, you know, decent looking girls. So,
beautiful.
So yeah, that was fun because I think that one was like, I want to say like 50 an hour, like something crazy to literally step and repeat, which if you don't know, which I didn't know what a step and repeat was.
I have absolutely no clue what that means.
I had no idea what it meant either, but it's basically like those things where like people will stand in line to get their picture with you, like with a background. The background was like the people, whoever was fighting. So we were like, oh, were you fighting tonight? I'm like, yeah.
I think that's also the interesting thing, that once you get into the business with liquor, it brings you into these different arenas.
1,000%.
Where
yeah, and that was in New York City too. So, and we're based in Jersey, so we'll pop out though every now and again.
Yeah, we'll travel for events. But so you've done that.
I've done that. I've done so many different trade shows outside of liquor. They have like a real estate trade show. They have a sports trade show. It's like all about sports trading cards and stuff like that. And
vapes.
Yes, vape trade shows, smoke trade shows, which exactly I worked for the few vape companies. I would say my most memorable promo, which I was going to ask you that in like a separate question, but was a porn show I worked. That was amazing. Truly amazing.
Really interesting.
It was. And if you ever have the chance to work a porn promo,
because everybody has the chance.
Do it. Do it. Porn people, what do they call porn stars? Porn stars are cool.
People.
They're corn people. They are down to earth and they're cool as fuck. And yeah, I learned a lot and I had the best time. I truly had the best time. Lots of ass everywhere.
I love that.
Yeah. Lots of kinks everywhere. Like, ooh. Yeah. Like the foot fetish and stuff. Lots of fetishes. That's what I mean. Oh my God. I hit myself in the face. But yeah, so I've done just so many random things.
I definitely can't say that I've worked a porn event, but I have worked a lot of different events, and I know that together we did a betting app.
I was gonna say that, yes.
So we worked for a horse betting app.
Oh, that one as well. Yes, I forgot about that
horse
one.
Horse racing, betting, and then also gambling.
Then we worked at all the Devils games, all the Devils home games, and we did, it was called Play Up. It was some new, they were just starting betting app, and we did that, and that was fun.
It was so fun.
We
just went up to people and had them sign up.
Yeah, exactly. It was low-key hard to get the signups because we were asking them so much information, which sometimes I hate. And when you have the iPad and stuff, it's like, oh my gosh. But it was one of those promos where you're working with a group of girls. So you really, it's hard to get bored when you're working with a lot of girls like that.
Fun.
And you're working in an arena, and they had a nice little buffet across the way. You know, yes, we would make our way.
We did. You're not typically allowed to eat as a promo model.
That's like a wishy-washy. Like some people think yes and some people think no, but I'm like, feed the models.
Feed the models.
Feed the models. We need to eat.
Especially, it's just ridiculous if we're working a 6+ hour event, whether it be a trade show, a big event like that.
If I'm working a big event,
why are we not allowed to eat?
I'm eating if I'm working a big event. That's the law. Fiona's too nice. I'm like, I'm getting what I'm getting. Fiona's like, will you please?
I'm like, but I don't want to get in trouble. Just kidding. No, but we should be able to eat.
Oh, 1,000%.
Should start a petition.
Yeah, no. If they're not letting you eat, the promo models. Go eat, because that's fucked up. You gotta eat.
Girls gotta eat.
Yeah. So that was like your one venture out of liquor, or what else besides betting apps? Is there anything else? I also work for FanDuel, which is amazing. I'll probably get into that another time, but that one was really fun. So the betting apps are fun.
No, I've never ventured out. I haven't really had the opportunity to. Yeah, just really liquor. Yeah. But also right now I'm just focusing on doing bar events and golf outings.
Golf outings are fun. Yeah. Those are so fun.
They're the best.
You can... Okay, I don't know if I should say this, but you can make those tips.
I think that they're okay some people with us making tips.
Okay, so the thing is, some companies are okay with tips and some aren't. And then some aren't okay with tips, but then the specific sales rep who you're working with might be. So, like, for example, I'll say, like, Tito's, maybe I'll be working for Tito's under a promo company who says don't drink on the job, but the sales rep will be there at the event and be like, or not drink, I mean accept tips. Same difference, right? I mean, either way, we're breaking the rules. Honestly, both though. Both has happened to me where they said like you could drink or you could accept tips.
Absolutely.
But it was dependent on like the sales rep. But I don't know, what do you do in that scenario? Do you go with the sales rep or do you go with like your marketing company?
I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna accept the tip,
and we're gonna put that tip jar right there.
I'm not gonna be obvious and flashy about it, but if somebody wants to tip me, I'm going to accept money.
1,000%. I'm the same exact way, and I honestly didn't really even get ballsy about it until one time, like a few months probably into my promo career, and I was working a golf outing at Trump, and I was working with Chandler, so it was already like my friend at the time. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good day. Like we're chilling, we're hanging out, we're working for Casamigos, one of my favorite ones to work for. And we're just like hanging out and shit, and all of a sudden we're setting up and she pulls out a jar and it says like tips on it, and I'm like, what
are you doing?
You have an actual jar that says tips on it. I'm like, oh, we're really going there.
We're going for it.
So that was the first time I was like, okay, you know what, like no shame in my game. Like if I feel like the vibes are right, I'm throwing a tip jar out there.
I think also for some events you really function as a bartender.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a mixologist.
Liquor trade shows, the whole time you're there making
you cocktails. And why should a bartender be tipped? But well, I guess we get paid a good hourly rate, but I think that we're in the service industry.
Yeah. And
we should be tipped.
I agree. So I'm accepting those tips, just to let anyone know. And that day we got probably the best tip I ever received.
How much did you make?
This guy.
Did you guys make like 500?
No, well, we made a lot. I can't remember exactly what it ended up coming down to. Maybe 500, like split, not 500 each. But this guy pulled out $300 and was like, I'll give you guys $300 to split if one of you drives me to your next hole. I think I told you and Marissa about this before. Me and Chandler definitely said it, because we were like, no brainer, go ahead. But I'm still like a little bit like so I looked at her like, you got it, you go, I'll hold down the fort and let's make this 300. She whipped him and she whipped him out of there to the next hole. We got our 300, split 150 each, plus on top of the tips that we already made that day. We were going home with like a pretty penny. Plus we were sitting there and, you know, enjoying our Palomos and margaritas as well. So
I think that's always the funnest thing about golf events is that you're outside, you're usually with another girl, you have your own golf cart.
It was such a nice day. Someone was working next to us too. That was like really cool, chill, down to earth. Yeah, he was working for like a sales rep for a beer company, and the beer company was cool. They had like a can, and the can was kind of designed to like be a play on like back in the day. I don't know if you ever like made a can into not a bong, but of course, kind of like a bong, or like a bowl almost. Yeah, where you just put, you know, and it had like a little circle there to
weed the first time like that,
right? So it was funny because it had like a play on that, and it showed you like where you should put your finger and where to burn the hole into. So yeah, it was fun.
Wow,
it was fun. I love a good golf event.
Yeah. You can also meet so many different people.
Oh yeah,
doing this job.
Oh yeah, tons. I'll like them during the day, and I like them at night too when they have like the charity events and stuff like that. I just feel like they're always a good group. Like I always vibe with the people at these country clubs. I don't know why, but I just feel like for the most part they're a pretty good group. Like
I feel like we normally would not vibe with people at country clubs.
No,
we're not that kind of bitches, but when we're working, it's always fun.
It's a vibe. Yeah, they definitely come through. So what do you think your favorite brand to work for is?
Ooh.
Or you can give me like a top 3.
I like working for Patron. I feel like they always do it What?
I'm glad that you said that one first. No, because Patron holds a special place in my heart when it comes to promos.
No,
so
I mean,
ahead.
I think that they always do it right. There's always a bar spend. There's always POS, which is the free swag that you give out to people. And they're always organized.
I want to say I 1000% agree with that. Even though I want to say I do love Casamigos as well as a brand to work for. And I want to say maybe you are as well. Like, we are Casamigos girls. Like, our friend group, when we go out to the bars and stuff, we order Casamigos. We all drink Casamigos. Yeah, and that's pretty much the go-to and what we love. But when it comes to promos, I love Patron. I love their company. I love who they hire.
Me too.
I don't know if she still works for them, but there was a rep, Molly, and she was literally the biggest sweetheart ever. Aww. I think she sent me home with like a lifetime supply of Patron one time. Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I was so thankful, and I just had so much Patron. Like, yeah.
My parents' basement is still filled with Patron because they just give you so many bottles.
Really? Okay, mine are all drank, but all the empty ones are literally on my ex's old fridge. God. They all lived, obviously, in an apartment in Philly. I don't even know if you call it an apartment. Yeah, it was pretty much like an apartment. And every weekend I would go visit him. I would bring a new bottle. Like, they knew I was coming with a new bottle of Patron, and we would kill it. Like, him and his friends. Yeah, and they were all just up there, just lined up. So many of them. But yeah, they were the best. They were so generous and like you said, just organized and like great to work for. A great company.
I think that also some companies, and I don't know if it's necessarily the company or the promo modeling agency, but they'll set up an event. There's no bar spend. Oh, yeah. There's nothing to hand out, and they send us girls to the bar and just tell us to promote their product, and it doesn't really work. Like, you can be the best promo model if you're going up to people at a bar and just saying, hi, you should try this product, without giving them anything. Sample.
It's so hard.
Why are they gonna want to?
No one wants to talk to you with that. People love the free shit. Sorry. They're all about the free shit. No one just wants to do the promos when you don't have a spend or anything. That's another good thing about Casamigos. They always have a spend. Yeah, they're down to spend, and like you were saying, so is Patron. So I really love that. And they have like the Patron bike, like you were saying. They keep it interesting, and they have like good promos that people are honestly wanting to get involved in, and not just like let me just help you out, because we run into those sometimes, like, okay, I'll help you guys out, like, what do you want me to do? But aren't like actually enthused to be participating with us. So I appreciate Patron for that.
I think that's like my top company to work for. I can't really think of any others off the top of my head that I actually enjoy.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm trying to think too, like, no, nothing I can really think of.
Aperol always kind of comes through, but I don't necessarily like drinking Aperol.
I don't like an Aperol Spritz. I'm not an Aperol Spritz girl. Keep that away from me. But yeah, I think I've done a few promos with them. I actually came across a picture of us doing a promo with them, and yeah, they would have like the fans. Sometimes.
Yeah,
I thought
Pfizer's.
Okay.
You know what I was just thinking though? Tito's.
Oh, Tito's.
It's always the big budget liquor companies that have good events because they can afford it.
Yeah.
So they have games, bar spends. It's just always
the games are fun. Yeah. And it makes the promo more interesting, and it makes it go by quicker than when you're just like sitting there and trying to, make something of nothing.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar, I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably are a brand ambassador or promo model or whatever. But honestly, I would say this is for like, if you are a promo model, if you've ever been a promo model, if you want to be a promo model, if you ever hired a promo model, ever hired a company that hires promo models.
Yeah, I think also people are just interested in the job because it's such like a niche job, and a lot of people want to know.
1,000%. I didn't know. Like, I knew I would go into a liquor store here and there, and someone would offer me, you know, a sample or whatever, but I never really knew, you know, like, that it was an actual job.
Right. People don't believe that it's a job.
Okay, so we kind of told you guys a little bit about what an off-premise event entails. Going into the liquor store, setting up your table, asking everyone that comes in, do you want to try this, that, the other?
Yeah, so then, and we also touched on on-premise events, but trade shows, golf outings.
Yes.
But there's also bar events.
Exactly.
Which I guess we didn't really talk about too much. But bar events, your manager will, which also, we didn't even talk about how many companies we work for.
Oh yeah, there's so many. There's so many I'm under.
I was just thinking about that, but I've worked for like 7 companies.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I've worked for like 17.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your manager will send out maybe an email or post it on their website, the events that they have, and you can reach out to them, or they'll ask you.
Oh, yeah. So like event. The companies. Yeah. So whatever company you're under, some of them will do it like that, where they'll send out like a mass email and saying like, these are the events open. Yeah, exactly. And then some companies won't. And they'll have like another way to
like their own website, or maybe even reach out via text. But also, I think something that's unclear to a lot of people is who is hiring you. You know, when you go to an event and they're like, who hired you? Do you work directly for the company?
Oh, yeah. Mostly like consumers, you're saying, right? Like
yeah, so the customers
are like, like, do you work like for Tito's, or do you work for Casamigos? Like, no, like I work for a marketing company that hires them out, which some brands you actually could work directly under. And like
I have,
yeah, same. And I think that is better personally, because then you have someone who's dedicated to your brand, and not just like, oh, this morning you saw me promoting Tito's and now tonight you see me promoting Miller Lite. Like, girl, it come on, we know you're just trying to get your bag. Like, you don't actually. Yeah.
I've had that at events where they just had me change my top.
Oh, me too. 1,000%. Yeah.
Like color. And then I'm like, oh, here I'm promoting this whiskey that I obviously don't care about.
Yeah. That would happen to me at Bar A a lot.
Yeah. So we're hired by our managers. The liquor company or the rep hires them. So it's like we're like the third party, basically. And then on-premise event, you'll go into the bar. You're supposed to call 2 days before to confirm.
I forgot about that. See, that's like one thing between like a season and unseasoned promo girl, I want to say. I feel like when you're deep into the companies and you've been doing it for a while, a lot of those things kind of flip under. But I know some girls that have been doing it for years that are like on top of their shit, and they'll still call because they're just those type of girls.
Yeah, I think that almost at this point, like, we know the managers of the bars. Like, it's almost like rude to call them, and
some people don't care.
They don't have a lot of time on their hands. Like, they're busy. Like, I'm not calling Bar A or Headliner.
I'm like, hey, I'm coming today. We scheduled it, but
they don't have time to
just want to remind you that. And they're like, yeah,
we don't care. Okay. We didn't even know that you were coming.
Yeah, I feel like that's only ever possibly backfired on me one time. And I do remember it back from me one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
At like a liquor store. And then like I came and then they were like, oh, like I didn't know. Or like something happened and I was like, oh, fuck.
But they never know that.
They never know.
I didn't set up the event.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not my job.
Yeah. But I'm just doing what I told.
Some things like that kind of piss me off. But anyways, so you go into the bar, you find the manager or point of contact. You let them know that you're there. And then essentially your job is just to walk around, go up to every single person in the bar, and promote the product or sample the product. And I think also it's an interesting thing, like your first bar promotion.
My first bar promotion I'll never forget. Never.
Really?
Never ever. Yeah.
I do forget mine. I can't remember.
Yeah, so mine was at Jack's Gold Line Stand. Like I said, we're based in New Jersey, so that's in Long Branch. Yep. You should know it because you live in Long Branch, but not to expose you, not to expose you. But it was there. It was with our friend Lauren, and it was funny because we weren't friends at the time. It was my first time meeting her. And first of all, I'm pretty sure she showed up a little late. And I was like, Lauren. Yeah, I'm like, where is this girl I'm supposed to be working with? And then she shows up and she's like, I don't know, a little bit startled already. Anyways, I'm like ready to get this thing going, and I'm like low-key like nervous, but I'm just like ready to get started and stuff. And then she's like, oh, like I got the stuff, because she was coming with the POS. I can't. Yeah, I can. Okay, start going around, and we give everything out in 5 minutes.
Of course.
And she looks at me and goes, all right, it was nice working with you. Nice meeting you. Okay, bye. And I look at her and I'm like, do you know we're booked for 2 hours? And she's like, yeah, but we already did everything, so we're good. That's it. And I'm
get
like,
in and get out.
Literally. And I'm like, I look at her and I'm like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm not gonna stay here by myself because that's fucking weird. But if I don't get paid for this promo, you're going to pay me out of your pocket.
No,
for
you
this
did
promo.
not.
Yes.
You said that to her?
Yes. Because I was like, this is the first one I'm doing. I am not about to like
probably confused.
Not get paid for something that I was so willing and ready to do.
Right.
So when she said that, I was just like, oh my God. She's like, no, it's fine. Like we do it all the time. Like it's cool or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Like,
she was probably doing it for years at that point.
She was like already a seasoned model, so she knew the game. Because let me tell you, a few years later, me and Fiona definitely were leaving some promos a little too early and getting caught. By the way,
we'll do
a few times.
We do a good 30 minutes.
Yeah, we will. We'll get our job done for the most part. No, for the whole part. We will get our job done. I feel like we don't slack.
We go hard and then we leave early.
Yeah. If there's nothing to do, we're leaving.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do at that point? Like, I get it where she was coming from with we gave all the stuff out, but the quickness in how we gave this stuff out was like nothing before. I was like, oh my God, we gave it out way too quick.
Learn how to slow down handing things out.
Yeah.
So that it lasts at least an hour.
1,000%. You're gonna have to learn that. And if a sales rep is there, sometimes they'll even tell you like, stop giving stuff out for a little bit until, like a new crowd comes or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first one, so I'll never forget it because I was just like, oh my God, we were there for not a long time at all, and she was ready to go. So I was really just thrown into it with like, okay, this is how the game kind of goes, and some people are just ready to do their job and bounce.
Yeah, I'm like thinking I can't remember my first bar event. I don't know why.
Damn.
But I've definitely worked at some sketchy bars. I can't remember
my second or third or... Yeah. Or that, but yeah. Do you like, well, we talked a little bit about like prep. Do you prep?
I do. Like, I have 2 events tomorrow, and I've been prepping in my notes app. Like,
oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. I'm impressed because I was never a big prepper, but I also would fill my schedule to the brim. So I almost didn't even allow myself time to prep. I would work like a full-time job from like it wasn't even 9 to 5. It was probably like 7 because I was like doing the nannying stuff. Probably 7 a.m. to like 5. And then I would go to like a 6 to 8 and then 9 to 12 and like a 12 to 2. And I would just go.
It's a lot. I think that in the past I've done that. Now that I have my career and this is a side job, like, I'm just doing 2 events tomorrow, so
yeah, I treat it a lot differently now as well. So
yeah, but I think I do try to prep before events, at least so I'm organized. I know what I have to wear. I know what I'm handing out. I know where I'm going. I know what time. I know who I'm working with. Well, that's the things
I prep for too, like logistics. I mean like information on the product that you're promoting, because some companies will give you a little bit of product information. I feel like Evolve, maybe they would give me like 2 sheets. Okay, they wouldn't.
Oh, would they attach it in a PDF?
It in an email, yes. Yeah. And they would just give you a little bit of info about the product, but most companies don't. And that's another reason why I think it's so funny and why I think it's less beneficial sometimes to hire a broad marketing company, because you don't know who you're really sending out at the end of the day to promote your company. Like Casamigos, who's ever the head of Casamigos or Patron or whatever, have like Tito's, whatever it be, a lot of times they don't realize, but then again, I guess they do make a lot of money, so they don't really care. Just to let you guys know, you guys have girls out here that are being asked about your product and literally just straight up being like, I don't know and I don't care.
They know absolutely nothing.
And they're just there for their coin, and they don't care to research. They don't care to know about the product, and they're just there.
Yeah, I think that most of the time I'll do a little bit of research on a product because I don't want to look like a dumbass.
That's 100% how I feel. I don't want to be that girl that's like, I don't know. Like if it's something complicated, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Like, let me look that up for you or something like that. Maybe
like a whiskey or something.
But like tequila, I quickly was able to learn like what's the difference between Reposado, Blanco. Well, if we're talking like Casamigos, they'll say Blanco. But if you're talking like Patron, I'm pretty sure they call it like silver, whatever. Silver, Reposado, and then Añejo. Yeah, exactly. So you learn when you do these things, if you want to, or you cannot, and then you could look stupid.
I think it's also that's interesting to think about the name of what we call ourselves. Promotional models or brand ambassadors. I think that's also a difference. And
like brand ambassador / brand representative, I feel like you should really know your shit.
Yeah.
Like if you are calling yourself a brand rep and you are repping the brand, you better know the brand.
Yeah, but sometimes you are expected to just go in and take photos with the product and with other people, and you are required to be just a model for the brand,
and they don't really care,
and they don't
no, there's definitely some times where we've honestly been hired just to like be a body in the room, and I would say that's maybe not so much like a liquor promotion as much as just like anything else. But then there are those few liquor companies that really just care about the outside look.
Right, having hot girls.
Yeah. I feel like there's just so much that goes into this promo industry.
There is.
And so much to cover. I feel like we just dipped our toes in.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I feel like you might need to come back for a part 2.
I think I have to.
I think you do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to Down to Marz, the promo pod edition, and definitely come back for the next episode and dive more into the promo industry.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming. So happy you came on. I love you more.